A24 is back with their newest film, but does this movie stand out among the indie studio's filmography? Let's find out. Back in 2015, Isaiah King published 140 tweets chronicling a crazy night that happened to her involving her and her new friend Stefani. The two travel down to Florida to dance at a club, and from there things really start to go downhill fast. It's no secret that A24 has been one of the premier indie film studios currently producing movies. The studio has procured quite the following for itself, and for good reason, seeing how they continue to not only make quality films, but also tell really unique stories. And with this premise, as bonkers as it is that it's based off of a true story, it really does exemplify that trait about this studio. And to usher the story along, we have Janica Bravo directing and co-writing the film. Now, because of the mixed reaction of her debut film, Lemon, but with promising outings on television, I really think that it was anyone's guess on what the actual outcome of this movie would be. Would it be closer to the mixed bag of her prior film Lemon, or would it be something as the heights that she reached in Juneteenth, the episode from Atlanta, which Bravo also directed? Unfortunately for this movie though, Zola is more like her freshman film, in the sense that it's honestly really a mixed bag with kind of half-baked ideas and characters, which is thankfully propped up by a compelling and suspenseful story. But I think one of the easiest elements of Zola to hold aloft as being one of the highlights of the film are the performances from the leads here. Taylor Page and Riley Keough really bolster this film with their extreme dedication to these roles. It's actually really impressive. Taylor reportedly danced at a club for some time in preparation for this role, and I do think that that sense of authenticity really does come through in her performance. Now, Riley too also really nails it in giving a performance that is cringy and makes me uncomfortable, but for all the right reasons. Because her character is almost this walking definition of cultural appropriation. Her entire being is pretty much a poster for what a lot of white folks do in regards to how they dress, how they do their hair, how they talk. Pretty much any aspect of black culture that they feel they can possess, they try to do that. And it's clearly a point of interest for Bravo, because this is also something that she talked about with the episode of Atlanta that she directed. The idea of what is black culture and how white people so often try to rob black people of that very culture. Unfortunately for this film, I felt that was one of the few areas of this movie that really actually felt fully developed in a way that I could really engage with, because for the remainder of this film, I felt like a lot of the motifs, themes, ideas addressed weren't really done so with the same level of care. For example, this film has the overarching theme of social media throughout it. Now, the score of the film is laced with these text tones and notifications of the film weaved in with harps, which almost gives this film this dreamy quality. It's an intriguing concept for sure, but the film doesn't really go much further in addressing this topic. And that's something really of a habit for Zola, is that this film proposes some interesting motifs, but it doesn't really fully address them, or at least offer the audience enough substance to really sink their teeth into. And unfortunately, this is also really apparent with the titular character in this film, Zola, who is given a very passive role in this film. And although I'm sure that was intentional, I think as a result, the audience is given a pretty thin portrayal of someone who is in this dangerous and bizarre situation. I just didn't really feel like I knew the character very well. And in just a 90-minute runtime, Zola doesn't really seem to have enough of an opportunity to address all of the characters or ideas in the film, because not only are the aforementioned themed apparent in this movie, but this movie also attempts to comment on sex work too. And because this film kind of gives this haphazard examination of this concept, it actually is just really unclear what the film's stance on the topic is. I mean, is this movie pro-sex work, or is this film an indictment on the profession? Because I really could hear arguments for both. And that's not to say this film can't show the duality of working in this industry, but when it is just one of the many motifs in this movie that is really addressed only to the surface level, it starts to feel a little less intentional. Because when all was said and done and the movie finally came to a close, I just really felt unsatisfied, and not because of what I saw was bad or poorly made, because it's not. What is there is actually really good, but the problem is what's not there with Zola. With all of the ideas this film tries to address, Zola really had all the potential in the world to be this feast of ideas, but unfortunately, the end actually just kind of leaves you just wanting more. So did you guys see Zola? What did you think about it? Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. I would love to know where it ranks for you in regards to the other A24 movies. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you liked today's video. And if you did, you can click on the link down below, or you can subscribe to my channel to see more movie reviews and movie related things. And guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.